How did you find out about the influenza in Mexico City?
Well, one day I showed up at the university and I found that the main entrance was closed, and there was a notice posted from the Secretary of Salud, of Health from Mexico City, saying that all the schools were closed until further notice due to an outbreak of influenza.
Why did you decide to research on this subject?
Well, we did a book on HIV/AIDS a couple of years ago, and quickly we discovered that this is another pandemic that we can study. Certain things were very similar with this disease, with HIV. There are certain other things which are very different. So, for example, in this case, this is a fast-moving disease, whereas HIV was a slow-moving disease. But there are certain commonalities between the two diseases, and therefore it became obvious to us that this is one thing we can study as well.
Okay. Why do you believe that it did not originate in Mexico?
When we started analyzing the data, there are two things that became clear to us. One is when we looked at the US data, we quickly discovered that the states which have most Mexican population, that is people of Mexican origin, did not have a large incidence rate. So, for example, Wisconsin had a very high incidence rate, Rhode Island had a very high incidence rate, which nevertheless had very few Mexicans. And therefore, the story that it came with the Mexicans from Mexico became very untenable. So we had to discard that, and when we analyzed the time series data, we found that it is even more clear that it really did not originate in Mexico. It started in the US, came to Mexico, and then of course it went back to Mexico, to the US.
What policy lessons can a country learn from this?
Well, I think it's important to remember that when this outbreak occurred, many countries applied travel restrictions and trade restrictions against Mexico. And indeed, many countries applied more restrictions against Mexico than against other countries. We now know that this originated in the United States, not in Mexico. But despite of that, what happened was the United States did not face as many trade and travel restrictions as Mexico did. What Mexico did do, which was very good, was to coordinate its response to an anticipated pandemic before this pandemic occurred. Mexico was part of a group of countries that included European Union countries, Canada, the United States, and Japan, and they came up with a plan of action in advance. So when this pandemic occurred, Mexico implemented that plan to the letter, and the other countries that were members of the group, at least the Europeans and the North Americans, knew that applying trade and travel restrictions was not going to be an effective response. So as a result, those countries did not apply trade and travel restrictions against Mexico. Other countries did apply those trade and travel restrictions in spite of what the World Health Organization had to say and in spite of the rules of the World Trade Organization. So what we can learn from this is that a country is better off planning a coordinated response with other countries in advance of a pandemic rather than relying on recommendations of the World Health Organization or the World Trade Organization with respect to travel restrictions and trade restrictions respectively.
Thank you.